we got here?
Big rig. How you looking, brother? Pretty good? Pretty lean at the moment. Yeah, looking good. All right. Stand next to your model over here, Dars.
Looks very similar.
Yeah, doesn't that look the same? They actually used Dars for this.
Yeah, they did. They might have done.
Back in 1947. Oh no, there's 5 editions.
An update.
Updated one. So, hello everybody. Aaron and Dars here, Ninja behind the camera today. Got #1 cameraman working.
G'day.
Working a shift.
Lots behind the camera at this
Yeah,
point,
absolutely. Got a head for radio.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to do a video today on a type of treatment technique or modality that some of us use here in addition to our hands-on technique, and that is cupping. So I've got my little cupping set here.
Look at that.
So I use this a lot as, like I said, in addition to our deep hands-on therapy. It's also a good way you can double up on treatment areas as you're working on a different part of the body. You can chuck some cups on a different part as well. So what I'm going to be working through today is Darcy's back. So I just wanted you guys to have a bit of a look at a real person, and then old muscle man over here. We've got this awesome chart given to us by Hayden, the departed Haydos. He's given this as a little present to MMT, but it's pretty cool because it is the classic muscle chart that we use a lot, but when it's blown up, it's really cool to see the I guess idiosyncrasies and the real finer details of the muscular chart. So we can see here the superficial layer on the left-hand side, and then the deeper layers on the right-hand side. So if you look at Darcy's body and look at this diagram here, which is pretty similar size, it's pretty cool to see, you know, even though you just see skin there, underneath you've got all this intricacies. You've got the erectors which sit underneath there, you've got the serratus posterior which comes out here, rhomboids here, traps, lats, so that's all underneath the skin here, that's all going on. Okay, so when we're treating the body, we're actually affecting all these different bits of tissue here. And the cool thing is as well is see the different directions. That's what fascinates us. You've got the rhomboids coming down on a 45, but underneath that you've got some erectors going kind of vertical. You've got the serratus coming up on a 45, the lats going more out, traps going up too. So that's fascinating when you're starting to look at where areas of the body are getting tight, where the adhesions are. When you're a practitioner, you're kind of thinking, all right, to get this adhesion out, which direction do I have to go in? Do I have to go cross fiber? Do I have to go with the fiber? So it's really cool to, if you're a practitioner, pay attention to these charts. You might think you know the body really well, but you should always check back in and be looking at the charts to figure out, right, maybe that pain that customer had is because it's right on that rib, and I've got to try and figure out a way of how I can kind of crowbar onto that rib to get into these white bits here. So, yeah, L plates for life. All right, always learn. Anyway, come down here, Dars.
Face down?
Face down, man. Face down. So, I'm just going to show you guys. I'm going to shut the door,
Yeah.
Just a bit of a generalised treatment, and then I'll get the cups going, okay? And I'll explain to you guys a bit about the cups. So, I'm going to show you 2 of my favourite strokes that I like to do. And this is like my way of decompressing the spine. So I pretty much work down the entire spine with my palm and elbow, just getting into all these little nooks. Get me spine out, Ninja.
Yeah.
All these little nooks. May as well put it on him, eh?
Yeah.
Done this a few times, but we may as well keep going with it. Sorry, Dust.
You're right.
So you see the spine here. I'm just going to be literally gliding my elbow all the way down these little spinous processes, just kind of weaving in and out, trying to get into all those little nooks, free up all that stuff, because when our muscles are tight, stress, emotional trauma, training in the gym, if our muscles are really tight, it can compress our spine, okay? So these techniques we're going to show you is an awesome way to actually decompress the spine and get everything moving a lot freer. So, I'm going to start with our pisiform warm-up stroke using the heel of our palm here. So I'm just going to plant that right up to Darcy's, the base of the neck nearly, and we're just going to slowly work our way down the spine there. So this is just our #1 warm-up stroke. So this isn't crazy deep, we're just warming up the tissues here. This is our version of palpation. This is how we get an understanding of what's going on with Darcy's body. Instead of just kind of fiddling with our fingers and kind of poking and prodding him, this is our way of figuring out what's going on underneath the skin whilst also treating at the same time. So you can see me weaving in and out there, staying close to bone and just weaving in and out, figuring out where these little bits of tension are, what's not moving. Like right there, it's almost like I stopped moving. There's like a roadblock. So to me, that tells me that the fascia there, the muscles there, there's a block that's not allowing flow. So you just park on that and you get Darcy, he's already doing it, but you get the customer to use their breath to allow me to go through. On the exhale, I'll always say, imagine I can kind of sink into you a little bit deeper, just a millimeter deeper. Just to allow me to sink into that tissue. So quite a bit more tension there. So when I'm going to get the cups out, I know that I want to be paying attention to these areas in the mid-back here. I'll just quicken that up a little bit as I get down to the lower back here. Not much oil either, not much wax. We want this to be really friction-based treatment, okay? So really picking up the fascia there, and I can feel he's going to have like a nice stretching, slightly kind of burny feeling because it's really flossing all the individual layers of connective tissue, the skin, the fascia, and the first layer of muscle. Alright, so now we can get in with our elbow. So sinking in. There's quite a bit there for Das, so I'm going to use a bit more forearm than elbow on this one. Just using Darcy's breath as well. Not really pushing in too deep when he's breathing in, and more changing pressure when he exhales now, and then I can kind of go through a little bit more. When he breathes in, I just maintain, and then when he breathes out, nice and easy, man, that's it. That's when I can glide and maybe push a little bit deeper. So this is more forearm, but what we can do too, good, Das, good, man. And start to sharpen it a little bit as well. When you go from that transition, when you're broad and then you go sharp, you generally got to be quite slow too, to not cause too much discomfort. Good, man, good, good, good.
It just changes the whole orientation of that pain. As soon as you sharpen that elbow, I started to feel more radiating or referral pain into the middle of the back, and then also spreading out into that scapula.
Yeah, cool.
But it just feels really good.
That's good feedback.
Yeah.
So yeah, with Darcy, like if this was a real kind of treatment, I guess, like it is a treatment, but if he was a customer and we've got an hour together, I'd be probably going a little bit slower here because this is quite jammed up. Darcy's got a bit in here. Good, man. Good, brother.
So it's really important, the pace, isn't it? Like
Yeah, absolutely.
So when you're going slower, it allows the tissue time to melt in a way. And, you know, if it was like an ice, if it was thin ice, it'd melt quickly. But if it's a thicker block, you need time for those to melt right into the core.
Exactly.
So.
And if you're going too fast, the body will tell you to stop, won't it? Like it's a block. It's almost like you can tell when you're forcing it, when the body's, or compared to when the body's just allowing you to go.
Yeah. It's like going over speed humps too fast.
Yes.
Kind of really
Jolts.
jolts, and you fly over it. You don't connect right with the whole thing. Where you go over nice and slow, you fully connect with the whole speed bump, and it's a lot less abrasive.
So we're getting into the lower back here, and I'm going to take this all the way into Darcy's money spot. So coming down right into this little nook here. Really fascial now, not much wax. Just taking it all the way into that nook.
I can feel my back lengthen.
Yeah.
And decompress as you do those last sort of 15 centimeters. Oh.
You can take this all the way onto the sacrum too.
Great.
You're not lifting off much pressure here. You've got to stay connected.
Oh yeah.
Get rid of that tag. Put that back in there, Darcy.
Yeah, there you go. Put it back in the crack. Ooh.
Super slow here. All the way onto the sacrum and really pushing hard. You can push that pelvis really hard there.
Oof.
And then when you're coming out of that, really slow.
Oh, that felt like magic, man. That was
Awesome, brother. So I might just even you up before we get the cups on there.
That was incredible.
We'll just go straight in with the forearm for this one. Won't waste much time. So pick up the slack with the forearm and the elbow. Ooh, there's not much wax on this side. Picked up the slack. Right next to his spine. I'm always trying to make sure that I can feel spine and a bit of bone right next to my elbow, just so I know I'm right up on that tendon.
Ooh.
Darcy was saying this is the side you've had some stuff on, didn't you say, Darcy? Yeah.
This side's already more sensitive. I've been getting into this with the ball and with the foam roller and just intuitively digging away at this rhomboid and left scap the last couple of days. So it already feels a bit more sensitive, but it needs it. Oh, I've been wanting this.
Good, Darcy. Just work with that breath, not too deep, and then just let it all go. Good, man. Not too deep, and then just let it all go. Perfect, brother. Yeah, it's allowing me to slowly sink through.
Ooh.
Slowly start to sharpen the pressure there now. Get a little bit closer to that spine.
Oh.
Yeah.
So good.
Get a little bit closer in again.
Yeah. Yeah,
There's a good bit there, man.
Yep.
Keep breathing. That's it. Not too deep, not too deep, not too deep. Nice and easy. Good, man. So with your breath as well, imagine breathing up into this pressure, not so much into the abdomen. That's better, good. And let it all fall. Lovely. Just keep that up, bro. Nice, man. Good, bro. Really good. Nice, man. Beautiful. Slowly starting to get into his lower back, and then we start that run down into his money spot on this side. So that
the pace of this, man, just makes it really easy to receive.
yeah, that's good feedback.
I've had a couple of spots where my breath was really sort of gasping for air, but for the majority of this, it's been really therapeutic and enjoyable.
Yeah, that's good, man. Yeah, so even though our videos look quite brutal sometimes, just the pace and the continued pressure that we put on means it is receivable. You're not kind of, there's consent there, you're not getting abused.
There's no surprises with this treatment, it's just...
Yeah.
It's consistent, isn't it?
Yeah.
We always say, like, you kind of feel like there's a spot coming up, but it's so slow that it never comes.
Yep.
You're just constantly pushing it away.
Felt like that this whole stroke has felt like that. friggin' awesome. Everybody needs this, man.
Yeah,
Oh,
everybody.
Stroke from the top of the thoracic to the bottom of the, or top of the sacrum. Oh, incredible.
Beautiful. All right. So I can already tell there that there's less mounds, there's less creases. Everything's just started to flow a little bit nicer, which is what we want. So I'm just going to put a tiny little bit more wax on Darcy's back. I'm going to do a relatively quick but connected stroke down Darcy's spine here, just because I'm going to start with some drag cupping. So let's do one relatively quick but connected stroke down there to apply the wax. So even when we apply wax, we're not doing it by just rubbing his back, you know, putting sunscreen on his back. We're doing it with meaning. Intent.
Every stroke counts.
Every stroke counts. So even this side too, same thing. I can feel why you've been getting some left arm stuff, Darcy. That rhomboid there is pretty jacked, eh?
Sure. As soon as you touch it, it goes straight into my little finger and
Yeah.
back of the elbow.
So, you know, if Darcy was a real customer, he's come in with some left arm kind of referrals. He said he's felt quite a lot of stuff in his neck here. But instead of going poking and prodding and trying to find the spot, we've just done a few strokes, and that's given me a better understanding of where I need to go and do some more deeper work. And the first stroke counts for practitioners out there. That's what it's like when you meet someone for the first time. That first touch is what the person's on the table's thinking. Oh, this person knows what he's doing. You know, if you're prodding and you're unsure and you're just fluffing about, immediately that person's thinking, oh, I don't know if this is going to be any good.
First impressions.
First impressions, that's it.
Don't get another chance at it.
Love at first sight.
We make judgment biased or not on that first stroke, don't we? Like
Yeah, yeah,
with
for
a
sure.
New client,
For sure.
you can have somebody.
It's like a handshake, isn't it, on the first meeting?
Yep. You can connect with somebody in the first 90 seconds of a treatment, and they already start opening up just by connecting with that first stroke. They're already telling you things that they might not have told any other practitioner because of that connectiveness and that slowness and attention to detail. And yeah, that first stroke's just so important. It counts.
All right, Ninj.
What do we got here?
Picking my cup of choice. So we're going to start with some drag cupping. I'll just start, and then I'll just start to explain what I'm doing. So I'm going to start just down on Darcy's lower back here. So we've got a vacuum here. Vacuum cups is what we're using, not flame cupping, just super easy. So going to put a cup here and not pump it up too much. And then once it's not pumped up too much, what we can start doing is just start dragging. Darcy's fascia is quite tight, so we need to not pump it up as much if we're going to do some drag cupping on him. So you can see here, I need a little bit more wax. And we can start dragging that cup. So you can see the fascia and the skin's being pulled up into the cup, maybe 0.5 centimetre. And then we're slowly dragging that pressure. So this is a cool way I like to start. It's a nice little warm up. So what's happening actually is the skin, the fascia, and the muscle is slightly getting pulled up into the cup, and then we're dragging it over the entirety of Darcy's back. So wherever that cup actually is located, the fascia and the muscles around that area are actually getting a stretch and getting decompressed. So it's a nice way to warm up, and it's nice to receive as well. It's very kind of relaxing and therapeutic.
Just feels warm.
Yeah. So we're increasing blood flow, we're stretching the fascia, and we're also stretching all the tissues underneath that as well. So we'll pump it up a little bit more now. All the way up into Darcy's back here. And out around into his shoulder blade here where he gets quite a bit. So for those that don't know much about cupping, I guess when you're describing or talking about what cupping does, it depends what stream you're coming from, whether it's Eastern or Western. So the Eastern stream, which is like the Chinese medicine, I guess what they try and explain is they're trying to draw stagnant blood, stagnant energy to the surface. They're trying to increase blood flow and increase heat within the body. So that's what they're trying to do when they do cupping. But I guess from the Western trained perspective, you're thinking about, okay, you're pulling the skin, the fascia and the muscle up into the cup for a certain amount of time. So on that particular area right now, that area was just on stretch, okay? So if you keep that there for a certain amount of time, once you release it, that area is now going to be more hydrated, there's more blood flow, there's more blood cells going to that area to promote healing. And also, if there's an adhesive, like dehydrated tight muscle in that spot, we might have rehydrated it and actually stretched it so there's not like a pain response there with the brain. Okay, so that's two streams of thought in terms of how people deem it effective. But what I say is effectiveness is the best measure of truth. So it doesn't really matter what's happening. If it makes it feel good, that's good. That's a good result. So I'm just putting a little bit more wax on Darcy here because his skin and fascia is quite tight. Might be a bit dehydrated in the skin there too, Darcy.
Yeah.
So moisturising you a little bit.
I can't do my back, I do my arms and legs. Can't get me back, mate.
All right, here we go. Now we've got a cup there that's
Working.
So we can see, you might be able to see the trail of red that's being left in the skin there. So I'm working really close to his spine, trying to get all those tendons that are stuck to the spine there to hydrate. You can see I'm right on the spine, just trying to pull and prise away all those tendons that are attaching to the spine there. Prise them away. Yeah. Beautiful, Das.
Oh yeah.
So you're saying it feels kind of warm,
Yeah.
does it? Yeah.
This feels warm. It's not too painful. There's some spots there where it's like, oh yeah, you're going over something that feels maybe stuck up through there.
There's lots in that lat there,
Yeah.
man.
Like,
So this is the same thing with treatment. Wherever you feel
yeah, yep.
something that's not rolling, like around in here, Das had heaps. So you kind of think, right, is this lat a little bit stuck?
Yeah, right there.
Is it a little bit dehydrated?
Yep.
Right through this section here. We want this to just move a little bit better. Yeah, so now it's starting to roll a little bit easier. We're just hydrating all these little spots.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, rolling over the ribs here. The lat is a very thin muscle, but it can get really tight and stuck. So pulling that lat up into this cup here and then just taking it on stretch like this and hydrating it can be super beneficial. You can see how much red there is on Darcy's right hand side now. There's massive amounts of blood flow in this area. Beautiful. Yeah, it's pretty stuck there, Darcy.
Yeah.
Awesome. Brilliant. Let's do a little bit more on this right side and then we'll go over to the left. So we can work all the way up into this trap up here, all the way out into this
Oh, yeah.
shoulder, bit of rotator cuff work. Down off the scap, back onto the scap. Back down into this lat. Oh, yeah. Plenty up there. Let's go down into this lower back again.
This one feels a bit. Is that more suction in that?
And lots more suction in
Feels
this
good,
one.
though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lots more suction.
Oh, yeah.
So I like with down the spine too, you can kind of zigzag a little bit as well. So Darcy's got a lot of mass in this right erector here.
Yeah.
Lots.
Oh.
Up into the trap.
Yeah, hydrate it for me, brother. It feels
Oh yeah.
feels dehydrated.
He's hydrating.
Yeah.
Can you see the red on the camera there, Ninja? Is it
Hopefully it's coming up
coming
well, yeah.
through? Yeah. Down into the shoulder and back. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So I'd maybe do some treatment there into there now. If I found some extra bits, which we did in the lat there, I'd probably go back in there with some treatment. Just wing it. Whatever is coming to me intuitively, I'd just kind of wing it and go for it. So I just put a little bit more wax on this side. Remember, when you're putting wax on, always do it with intent. Even the wax is fixing things.
Yep.
The wax application. Okay. Alright. So let's see what this side's got for us. Start with the cup down there. Might be able to see a little bit better this time. Yeah, see, so similar to the other side. No, we're rolling a little bit better here. Nice. Should be able to see there's probably about a centimetre of fascia and skin in that cup there now. Yeah, so it gets a little bit tight down the bottom there. And then once it's rolling, it feels pretty good. And then it gets a little bit tight up the top here again. But it's the same principle, I guess, to our treatment. We're trying to stay close to bone. Probably going a little bit quicker when we're doing this drag cupping than what we would do with treatment, but remember, this is just an add-on to our treatment. Beautiful.
Would you use this with somebody that's quite acute or maybe spasming? Or...
Yeah, definitely, man. If someone can't take much deep pressure or they're on edge that particular day, they're anxious, their
emotions are heightened or something.
You're always gauging that with everyone you've got, but yeah, you definitely kind of pick your targets with this stuff. And some people love it. Like, I've done this to some people and they've said, they just want it every time they come in. So horses for courses.
Yeah.
Go out to the trap there, work up into that neck. Hopefully see that cup up there, Ninja. Let's see what this lat's like. Yeah, it's stuck again. Put a little bit of wax there. It's stuck in there, Das.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So that I learnt this at uni when the Eastern principles are you're pulling out stagnant blood and stagnant energy, and then obviously coming and working with Ninja however long ago that I started, one of the first words you learn is stagnation or stagnation, as Ninja might say.
Yeah.
And so we're always trying to increase flow. So it made me think back to my cupping days and what the Chinese med practitioners think, and it's like stagnant blood, stagnant energy. Bring it to the surface, allow the lymphatic system to take that waste away, because it's not a replicating cell in our body anymore. It's not proving, doesn't have a function anymore. It's just taking up space. So we want to get rid of all the things that are taking up space and that are not functional. And that's a message for us going into our year too, is think about our pathway and what's in our way, what's in the way rather than on the way, and how can we clear our pathways? What shit do we need to clean and use as fuel to our fuel for our fire this year? So it's the same kind of thing with the body. What's stagnant? What shit needs to be cleared? That's really good. Some nice redness there. Coming through on the camera, Ninja.
Yep.
So the cool thing about this too is, I'll show you this, we can actually go onto the spine as well. Just go right onto the spinous processes there and pull them kind of out as well. Just kind of Beautiful. Do our zigzags again as well. Zigzag it. And just getting nice and creative there.
See what's going on, mate.
Beautiful. Oh, I can do some strokes going out maybe too. Oh. Alright. Let's do some work up into this lap before we start with the stagnant cups, the stationary cups I should say.
This feels really good, man.
It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah. Once you sort of understand the process and what's happening, you sort of picture it as it's happening. You close your eyes.
You kind of tap into it.
Yeah, you
it's
tap
good,
into it.
man.
You feel the layers of the skin sort of, you know, opening up and sucking into the cup, as you mentioned. You feel the warmth of the blood flow circulating into that area. You feel that muscle becoming more hydrated, and you feel shit getting cleared and sucked away or broken down.
It's cool.
Mm.
So Das has got some stuff up in this rhomboid, so
Yeah.
we can do some
Yeah,
more targeted work into here. Just peeling away
yeah.
heaps of shit that might be stuck onto that shoulder blade.
Mm.
Good thing here is too, the cup's sucking up the skin, but I'm actually kind of pushing the cup down into Darcy's body, so the actual edges of the cup are probably in a way treating him.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
Go right on top of the spine there, because that's where all the shit starts. And then the medial border of the scap, we love that line, so we can free up that too. Beautiful. So we can see there, Das is quite red now. And what we're going to do is start applying some stationary cups. So this is when the artistry can start. So I'm going to start right where I think he has a spot, right in here. And what I like to do is I like to get the cup right up onto the spine, so I know that I'm right next to the spine there. And I angle the cup into the spine, and then I'll pull the cup up. So I know that it's being pulled in the direction away from the spine. So similar to this side, I'll angle the cup into the spine, angle it in, and then pull away. Same thing here. We'll pace it out about an inch, angle into the spine, and pull away. Angle into the spine, and pull away. And we'll just make our way down the entire back. People always ask, how much do you pump up into the cup? And this is a pretty subjective question. I know some people probably have their thoughts on this, but I just do a couple of pumps, see how the person on the other end is feeling too. Some people love it to be really pumped up. Some people can't handle much at all. So you're always working with the person on the table. So we're going all the way down the spine, pushing right in deep. So if you start sucking it up from when you've pushed in, I feel like you get some deeper muscles there. So you push in and suck up there. So we'll just finish off with some ones on his money spot, on his sacrum. Once again, remember we're pushing straight in to the money spot and then pumping it up. There it is. So straight into the money spot, angle it down and in, and then pump it up. So they're pumped up quite a bit. So if we come down to this level here, Ninja, you'll probably be able to see, I'll talk to you a little bit about what's going on in the cup. So we can see these ones especially, they're quite raised. So what's happening right now is all the tissue, the fascia, the muscles, the tendons, everything in this area is getting pulled up into the cup, and then deeper than that there's all this pressure. So there's pressure really far down low. So even though It's only that part of the muscle and stuff that's in the cup. Underneath that, there's still pressure getting pulled out. So there's still kind of some decompressive things happening at the deeper layers there. And then going back to the Eastern methodology, you've also got the stagnant blood, the stagnant energy and other things coming up into the cups here. And generally what I like to think about is the darker the cups, the darker the coloration, the more tension, adhesiveness and dehydration and just dysfunction in that particular area. Okay, so you'll often find that, say, these 4 will be fine, or these 3 will be fine, and this one will be like super black, super purple. So that's when I'd think, okay, there's something going on in there. But then that person would come back the next week and we do the same cupping and then it wouldn't be nearly as dark. So to me, and that would correlate with them feeling better. So to me, that says that that was tight, dehydrated, adhesive, maybe an old injury in there, some emotional block, whatever it may be, and we've actually drawn that out, created more flow, and then there's not as much discoloration, and that person's feeling a lot better. So yeah, let's maybe start taking them off now. Pull them away and see what we've got. And you'll also find that sometimes you've got discoloration only in certain aspects of the cups. You can see here on the inside of those 2 there's discoloration, but the outside there's not. So that makes me think, okay, maybe right in the middle there's something that I need to get, because you can see we're on the edge of it there. We can see down here, left side is a lot more discolored than the right side here. So we asked right, do you have a left-sided lower back pain more regularly than right-side DAS? And this is the stuff you can start to ask him.
Yeah.
So you do?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So he says he's had a history of things happening on this left side of his lower back, and the cups have kind of proven that as well by being more discolored there. So what I'm going to do now is just do some different lines, but start a little bit further out. Maybe we're going to go down the medial border of the scap a little bit more, get right into these bits on the scap. We can get out into the rotator cuff here, infraspinatus, and those structures. We know he's got some left-sided scap issues at the moment, and just, you see the drag cupping, Ninja? See, the drag cupping on this side wasn't very colorized there, but this side, see how red it is? And this is where he's had issues with this left arm these past few days. So I can see there's a nice bit in there, so I'm gonna put a stationary cup on there. I go down this medial border a little bit more as well. And I reckon there's a big bit right in there too, so I'm thinking put another one in there. Maybe fill this space there. And this left side of his lower back, we can see that there's not much going on over here, but this side there is, so maybe we can put a few more down here to see if we can clear some of the stuff that's going on there. So I always tell my customers, you should buy a cupping set. Like, they're pretty cheap off eBay, and I think every household should have one, because I reckon they're super beneficial. So we can already start to see here, Ninja, on this right rhomboid. See, that one's coming up real dark already. So we're starting to think, righto, what's going on in there? There might be a real good doozy in there. And the good thing about the cups, if I needed to go and treat Darcy's hamstring or Darcy's glute right now, I've got the ability to, you know, even his neck, I could come and do some work up into this suboccipital ridge here, and then it's doubling up, so it's good value for money. So just pinning in up here. So the cut marks normally stay around from anywhere between 5 to 7 days, depending on how efficient your lymphatic system is. Sometimes I see people that maybe aren't as optimally healthy as others, and you know, they have cut marks that kind of stay lingering on them, you know, faintly for over a few weeks, and that's when you can open up a dialogue about maybe they're quite toxic inside. So we need to detox, need to think about diet, need to think about how we can clear their skin, clear their lymphatic system, clear their guts, get them to deal with their shit a little bit more, so the lymphatic system can actually work to get rid of all these kind of free radicals and toxins that are in the body. But yeah, generally you want them to be disappearing within 5 to 7 days. All right, let's take these off and see what we got here. You start to see them coming off. So you just release with a valve at the top, and it just lets it all go. It's that pepperoni pizza. Look at that. Maybe eggplant slices for Nin, Jack. Looking good.
Feeling good.
Feeling good, Das?
Yep.
So what I might do to finish off here before we get him up and have a look at him in front of the muscle chart again. Ninja's surveying the scene. Given that we now know that he's got some stuff in this rhomboid, I'd probably finish off with just some work through the rhomboid itself. So I'm just going to sink down into the medial border of the scap. You starting to feel that, Darcy?
Yeah.
So we've treated him a little bit, done some drag cupping, done some stationary cupping, and now we can get in there with some deep work. So yeah, I just really like using it as an extra modality.
Oh, yep.
Good stuff, Das.
Yep.
So super slow through here.
Oh.
Good breathing, man.
Oh.
Good, man.
Oh.
Nice, man. Nearly done. Nearly done.
Oh.
Beautiful, man. Let's get you up, brother.
Yeah.
Have a stand and see how you feel, man.
Feel knackered.
Yes, that's another thing too. A lot of people, when they get cupping, they can get quite tired. So I think it drains you. I think because you pull out so much stuff that might have been in there for so long. Even when I've had cupping before, I report the same thing. You feel quite
knackered,
lethargic and
Yeah.
tired, man. So come and stand around, go back to your starting position, dance, and we'll see what we got. Let's have a look. How good's that? So that's dark. So the rings around here, that's just from the suction, so they go away pretty much straight away. So tomorrow what he'll be left with is these discoloration marks in his back. So it'll be cool to go back to see what he was like beforehand and then compare to now. But we can see some spots we maybe need to pay some attention to, like down here at the left lower back, which he has a history of. That's an area that we'd go and address. He's been reporting that he's had some rhomboid and kind of referral symptoms down his left arm lately. And the amount of discoloration in here would suggest so too. But he's also probably got some stuff going on with this right shoulder blade as well. But yeah, hope you enjoyed that, guys. Just a bit of a showcase as to what we do with cupping here, in addition to our hands-on treatment. So if you live locally and you feel like you want to get some cupping done mixed in with some deep treatment, we highly recommend you coming in because we'll be able to fix you right up. Thanks, brother.
Feels good. Thanks, man.
See you guys. Actually, you still there, Ninj?
Oh, yeah.
Make sure you like and subscribe because we're going to be bringing out our very regular content this year. We're trying to schedule it a little bit more just so you know when things are coming. So stay tuned, like, subscribe. Very grateful for your continued support, and it's going to be a big year, so we're excited. Thank you.
Thank you.
Feels good. I need some water.